Yeah, buddy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the FYF Live Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always
It's in the
by my
game.
co host, John Luke Garofalo, the man in green,
Dude, you
freshly
love to key in
32.
on this green shirt. There's
It's a
something
good,
about this green shirt. Every time I wear it, you just have to say something.
it's just so green. It's such a,
It's a
it's,
normal amount of green.
there's only one thing to say about that shirt, and it's that it's green.
And that it shows my nipples a little bit.
Yeah, and it fits well. You know what? I could say the man in a
It's
shirt
a
that's
little
sized
wrinkly.
properly, John Luke Garofalo.
Who doesn't iron his shirts? John Luke Garofalo.
Well, you know what? Real men don't iron their shirts, JL.
Really?
Real men have wrinkles.
I didn't know that was a real man.
Yeah. Yeah. Real men have wrinkles. Real men chop wood.
Oh, I've heard
And
that.
real men hold fire in the palms of their hands as they stare out at the world they've
And they don't
created.
cry.
And they cry sometimes.
They cry a little bit about it.
They cry a little bit. Brains in here. What's up? Good morning, Brains. His fantasy football Redditors fallen to their knees in their local Walmarts in agony over Njoku signing with the Chargers. And that is the first piece of news I was going to bring up. There was a couple big free agents left that we were waiting to sign. We got the Juwan Jennings last week to the Minnesota Vikings. Again, not the situation fantasy managers were holding out for. Then we got David Njoku, probably the top free agent tight end this season. Going from the Cleveland Browns, where he was competing with Harold Fannin a little bit. Fantasy managers hoping for some place where he could be the dude. Maybe not so much in Los Angeles. Not only does it throw some water on his fantasy value, more importantly, it throws some water on the Gadsden hype train.
Dude, that's what I was going to bring up. Arande Gadsden, the third or the second, whatever he is, whichever number he is.
The 17th. Yeah.
17th.
That hype train was just getting ready to pull out of the station. I feel like that was the one heading into draft season where that was going to be the sneaky little tight end whose ADP rose the closer we got to the season start. Not anymore. This probably all but kills that hype train. But JL, do you think that's an overreaction? Do you think the hype train still deserves to exist a little bit with an aging Njoku who we haven't seen be a game changer in a couple of seasons? Like, we've seen him be good, but a game changer. They let two tight ends walk. The Chargers did. Now they've got Njoku in the room. Gadsden still could be a good option, especially as like these multi-tight end sets are becoming more popular in the NFL. These 2-3 tight end sets. I'm of the opinion it probably does kill his hype. But I could see the argument the other way. I'm curious which side you're falling on.
Yeah, it's tricky. I was right on that train with you, Simon. I was right there, ready to leave the station, especially in Dynasty. He's one of my main tight ends in the Dynasty league that we're currently drafting in. So maybe it was just I had Gadsden on the brain. But dude, this kind of sucks for that. It's just like if you were hyped about Harold Fannin, feels like this is the sequel. This is going to be like the shitty sequel of the David Njoku Harold Fannin saga.
Harold.
Now Harold's free. He can be himself. No quarterback.
He's like, he's your problem now, Arande.
Yeah, but Njoku, I mean, first time we got to say, like, first time really Njoku, we're going to get to see him on a competent team. So
yeah, as a Browns fan, you are 100% correct. Maybe not the first time with a competent quarterback, because he did play with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
And I think we can agree Baker Mayfield's a competent quarterback, but not on a competent team, right, and not under the best situation. He's primarily played with bad quarterbacks on a bad team.
I don't know if it was him or if it was the organization early on in his career, but if you guys remember, we got the OJ Howard treatment with David Njoku early on in his career. So much hype, no output, just very little output.
Dude, that draft was epic whenever they drafted him and Myles Garrett in the first round. Like, looking at those pictures, I was like, the Browns are going to be good forever. Like seeing the first round picks together in one room, it was like, and this is the moment we turn it around, baby.
Nope.
No, but I'm with you. I think this is bad for Gadsden, but Brain bringing up kind of what I was saying there. I believe if Fannin could supplant Njoku, Gadsden could likely supplant Njoku as well.
Yeah, there is a chance. That's why I don't think the hype. I think you're right there, Sam. The hype train is not all gone for Gadsden. He still has a shot, and you know this Chargers offense. If they, it feels like they're probably gonna be good this year. So if they start using 2 tight end sets, maybe Gadsden does become that Harold Fannin type of actually like fantasy relevant, even though he's somehow the second tight end on a team.
Dude, that Chargers offense, I feel like, is going to be so much fun next season.
Chargers and Giants, those are my 2 teams.
Mike McDaniel running it. You've got Omarion Hampton at running back, Justin Herbert, of course, at quarterback, Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Aronde Gadsden. They just added David Njoku. Like, this does seem like it's going to be a fun offense. A little shallow. They could likely use another wide receiver. They got Trey Harris, but
yeah, they need some wide receiver help.
But this is a team with quality at every position. This is going to be one of the better offenses Justin Herbert has played with an offensive coordinator that I think is going to have fun with all the pieces he's got.
What this move feels like what Mike McDaniel did by going to the Chargers, it feels like what Tom Brady did by taking a pay cut. Mike McDaniel took an ego cut. He's like, that's fine, I'll be offensive coordinator. But now it feels like the Chargers have 2 head coaches, like 2 super powered head coaches somehow on the same team.
I think maybe people forgot that McDaniel is great at offense. You know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of distraction with him being the head coach down there. Is he the right fit for this role? Can he bring the Miami Dolphins out of it? Is he going to keep vaping on the sideline? Which is one of my favorite interview moments ever. Have you seen that one where they asked him about it?
Yeah.
I never vaped again after that moment. He said the second I saw it out, I never vaped again. Cold turkey, baby.
That's hilarious.
But now he's just worrying about the offense. He doesn't have to do all that head coach nonsense, and he's on a team that has arguably better pieces, except at the wide receiver position, than the team he was at previously.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun. Scampers in here with the correction to you, Brain. It is Sir Plant. Respect the man, please.
Sir Plant, yes. Old inside joke is Sir Plant.
Good morning, Scampers. Good morning, Frank, in the chat.
Frank.
Gretton here saying Gadsden was overvalued before the Njoku sign. Now he's a full-out do not draft. McDaniel wants tight ends that can block. For example, Gesicki in 2022. Gadsden can't. And
it's definitely possible. I mean, it's definitely possible. I don't know that Gadsden can't learn how to do that at all. You bring Njoku in, and maybe that frees him up to be more of the receiving tight end, like we've seen in the past with who's the big, like, is it Ingram? Ingram was like the big wide receiver tight end.
Evan Ingram, yeah.
Yeah. There's another one I feel like too, who's just like didn't do a ton of blocking.
Oh, and this could be, we just looked at their wide receiver room. It is rather shallow. This could be signaling that they want a blocking tight end so they can, in these 2-3 tight end sets, continue to use Gadsden as a receiving threat. Bring him out a little bit, throw him in the slot.
Yeah, that could be sneaky. It's hard for defenses to cut. Like, who are you're gonna scheme for Gadsden? No,
maybe.
So, perfect. Maybe he can just slip into some gaps in the zone or whatever.
Frank in the chat said, pretty sure there's medication for Gaston on the brain. We'll have to see if we can find that. What's up, Mom? Good morning. And said hello, FYF from Yas and
Good
Misha.
Morning, Mama
What's up,
Greenville.
Uncle Yas? What's up, Misha? Hope you're enjoying your trip in the United States. Frank in the chat said the Chargers should just sign Keenan for $1 million every year. He wants to be there. 60 catches a year, easy. I'm 100% on board with this. I was just about to say, man, that roster's missing a Keenan Allen.
Or Mike Williams. Bring him out of retirement, baby.
Mike Williams. Shit, I forgot he retired.
Redemption.
Dude, he's like our age, and he said, you know what? I think I'm done working.
Yeah, I'm going to stream now.
I think I'm done doing the job that I went to college for. And I'm gonna stream now. I was about to say imagine doing that, and then I realized I did almost the exact same thing, but with much less money available.
You're just describing your own. But much
you went to
shorter,
college for
much less
football.
money.
I went to college for electrical engineering, and then at one point we both said, "You know what? Enough of this. I'm streaming, baby.
This isn't working. Let me just live stream.
Let me just hop on YouTube." And Brett also saying, for what it's worth, Gadsden ranked dead last in PFF blocking metrics in 2025 would make sense where they wouldn't gotten Njoku then. I'm not counting him out as dead yet. I think this could be a buy low opportunity for a player like Gadsden. If not for this season in Dynasty, for coming seasons. We saw a little flash in that 4-week span of what he could do in an offense if he's featured. This isn't me holding on to hope for this year, but I don't think it's a non-zero chance.
It's a chance.
So you might as well buy low now. Fresh off the news, and then see what happens.
I don't think it's a bad take, Brett. I think you bring up solid points, solid concerns on Gadsden, and I think it could go either way. It's going to be what Simon and I are bringing up is just that he's got a shot. He's got a shot to bridge that gap.
John Luke, this one on the board right now. Would you rather have Gadsden or Kincaid in Dynasty?
How old is Kincaid at this point?
I'm about to tell you that Kincaid is 26 and Gadsden is 22.
That's that. Frank in the chat, that is too hard of a question on a Monday morning.
Yeah,
I think I would go Gadsden still.
Okay, Gadsden or Jake Ferguson? 27.
Gadsden.
Gadsden or
God, that sucks because you might just not do anything. But I would
Kenyon Sadiq, 21, freshly drafted to the Jets.
I'd go Sadiq just because of draft capital and the age.
Isaiah Likely.
Give me Sadiq or
what about Gadsden or Isaiah Likely?
Gadsden.
Eli Stowers, the rookie drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles, 23, or Oronde Gadsden.
Oh, that's tough. Don't make me do it. Gadsden.
Okay, Joe, you still got him as like a top 10 dynasty tight end.
But it doesn't feel good. It feels like what Brett is saying, it could go the other way on the 50-50. And he could just be like a Noah Fant.
Yeah, don't put that on him. But
Is he the one? He's the one that doesn't block much.
Yeah, where did Noah Fant go? Because I feel like there was a moment where he was like the next big thing. And I was seeing where he was in he's on New Orleans now.
Oh, wow. Jared Cook.
According to ECR Dynasty rankings on Fantasy Pros, what do you think Noah Fant's tight end ranking is in Dynasty football? Expert consensus.
42.
57. What a fall we've taken.
Wow.
Dawson Knox, Noah Gray, all names ahead of him.
I doubt we can name the 56, all 56 tight ends ahead of him.
No, there's some names on here. Tanner Koziol, Jail. What team is Tanner Koziol on?
I don't know. Cardinals.
Justin Jolly.
Justin Jolly?
Where have you been hiding, Justin Jolly? You better be a rookie if this is the first time I'm hearing your name.
Tommy Treble.
Yep, he's a rookie. I was about to get upset. Michael Trigg. He's friends with Michael Kalk. Who's friends with Michael Geometry.
You're an idiot.
And Frank in the chat said, that's the game tomorrow. Name all 56 tight ends. Give you 24 hours to prep. I think with 24 hours to prep, we could name 56 tight ends, especially if we split them up.
Now that I'm looking at this list, I'm like we could get a lot of these.
I think we could name over 45 of them without prepping for tomorrow, and then we would just have to memorize like 16.
We know Stone Cold Smart.
Stone Cold Steve Smart.
Stone Cold Steve Smart. I feel like after that, it starts getting a little like Davis Allen. We maybe remember John Bates. No, Brock Wright.
Pretty gross. Brett also down here saying, I like the take that the Chargers can move him to the slot. Hadn't considered that, but Gesicki went from 112 targets in 2021 to 52 in 2022 in the transition to McDaniel calling plays. Scary parallels. You're 100% right, Brett. The discount that he's going to be receiving in drafts and in trades is justified. There's a reason why he's going to be going lower in drafts, and there's a reason why you can probably get him for less. But the fact that there is still a chance on the other side is why I'm going to be interested in taking that discount. But that being said, your outcome is probably the more likely outcome.
It was 50-50, I think. Gadsden did have a great rookie year. He was able to get separation. He was able to create, get receptions and stuff like that. I don't pull up his player profile, but he looked awesome. I think David Njoku could benefit from this move more than Gadsden, but it's going to be tough to see Gadsden now limited by volume when talent, and we're seeing a little sparks of talent, but there are still question marks there. So that's probably where all the ambiguity is coming from.
Amateur Hour said John Bates' father, Master, is very proud of him. Idiot. John Luke, this is not football related, but I think we both watched a little bit of basketball this weekend.
Yeah.
The Spurs. I was really hoping the Spurs would win yesterday because Lane and I have tickets to tomorrow's game. and go into a 3-1 game where they have a chance to clinch the series. Like, this city goes mad when San Antonio wins game 1 of the first round.
Yeah.
Like, they go absolutely insane. Being there for a series clinching game sounded absolutely insane. That being said, it's still going to be completely hype. They're going to go absolutely nuts if they win tomorrow. But they should have won that game. If Wemby didn't throw a flagrant 2 elbow in the second quarter, I think that game is easily in the Spurs' favor. They just about had it. The final score makes it look even less close than it actually was, and it was a close final score. You watched that. What did you think about the Wemby elbow to the face, the flagrant 2 foul?
Dude, I love watching other sports because we watch football so closely. I watch pretty much every single game throughout the season, either live or on replay. And it's so cool to see the other sports then just like how the athletes react to these giant moments. But the Wemby, like that Wemby mistake, I don't think you can call it anything other than an error or a mistake, because he didn't help his team. He let his emotions win. If you didn't watch it, Wemby got ejected in the second quarter because he's getting fouled and he like winds up and cocks his elbow and hits Andre Reed in the neck with his elbow and gets ejected. And so then obviously Wemby's the best player on the Spurs, but Spurs, they were leading too, like for a lot of the game. I was like, oh, okay, they don't need Wemby. They got this. But there's no doubt in my mind they would have won if Wemby was there playing the whole game.
Yeah, I'm with you. It was 100% an ejection, like 100%. No excuses to be made. No argument the other side. But they were mauling Wemby before he decided to do the move that would get him ejected. There should have been 3 fouls called before Wemby had the opportunity to throw an elbow. You watch him trying to get that rebound. McDaniel literally is like hand wrapped around his thigh. Or no, Reed had his hand wrapped around Wemby's thigh, inside his leg, elbow to the groin. McDaniel like smacks him in the face, tugs on the back of his jersey. And then as he's trying to get as the elbow's getting thrown, McDaniel has his arm held with 2 arms on the other side of his body. Like, he's actively being restrained by a player on the other team. There should have been 3-4 fouls called prior to the elbow being thrown, but they weren't, and you still can't throw an elbow. This is not me defending the action. Just, dude, they were mauling him. And Wemby, you're 7'5". If you were 7 foot and you threw that elbow, it probably would have been a flagrant 1. You're not ejected because it would have landed in his chest. But you are 7'5", and that elbow is right at throat height, man. Right. Like, just directly at throat height. And you can't elbow someone in the throat. And it's not your fault that you're 7'5", but 5 inches shorter. 5 inches shorter, and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Not good. A flagrant, but not an ejection.
I don't know if this is going to show up because it's a little blurry, but I got it here just because we're talking about it so much. It's probably worth us pulling this up. Whoop.
They not show it?
Come on now.
That started at a weird spot. Here we go.
Come on now. Play us the replay.
Yo, it is. I've watched so many games with him this year, and every time I see him next to other players, I'm just shocked still.
I know,
he's absurd. Just the shape of him is absurd.
No, how did he get bigger? Okay, here we go.
Look, hand wrapped around the leg.
Grabs the rebound. Foul. End of play. Play should have been over right there.
Foul.
Boom.
Flagrant 2 ejected.
Come on. You know what this exactly feels like, Simon? This feels like when DK Metcalf punched the fan going into the playoffs this past season. Like,
he wasn't wrong, but you can't do that.
Like, you made a mistake. You lost. You took your eye off the ball, which was win the game. That's the only thing you should have cared about in this moment, not elbowing Andre Reed in the neck, winning the game.
Naz Reid was not he wasn't shy about showcasing that he got elbowed in the face either. This is me calling it a flop. He got elbowed in the throat, in the face, 100% deserved to fall on the ground. But man, hopefully they win tomorrow. I'm excited to be going to a playoff game. I was thinking yesterday, this is my first professional sports playoff game ever. I've been to bowl games. I've been to college football bowl games, which is probably the closest, but I've never been to a playoff game in any professional sport.
I'm trying to think if I have. I can't remember. I feel like I have, but it's like nothing's popping into mind. feel like I have definitely gone to a playoff game though. That's super cool that you're going. How much do tickets cost? I'm too curious. I need to ask.
We are way like 21st row of the upper deck, and tickets were 150 a piece.
150 a piece,
roughly,
upper
or
row.
142, I think is what they were before
And
taxes.
they're not playing tonight, so they're playing tomorrow, which means they're in game 5.
It is tied 2-2. Yeah, it'll be game 5.
Okay. I'm just curious. Just like to know what the market for some of these games are. These playoff games are like tickets to go to these games because it's kind of interesting.
I bought them as the last game over the weekend was winding down because I thought there's a shot this becomes the series clinching game. Like this is the one we were going to go to this one. It's the one that made sense with our schedule, whether it was or not. But I thought, oh shit, if this is in fact 3-1, these prices might skyrocket for a chance to watch the Spurs clinch their spot in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Not the case anymore. Prices are still going up, but it'll be fun. And I thought that was a relatively like okay price to pay to see the Spurs in the second round of the playoffs at home.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. It's like that's like a normal Ravens regular season game.
Really?
Is 150. You're paying 150, 200 probably.
Before Wemby, Spurs tickets were $20. After Wemby, Spurs tickets, no, not play. Well, the Spurs weren't in the playoffs.
Yeah, that never happened.
In between Duncan and Wemby, there weren't many playoff runs.
When did they get rid of Popovich? I was thinking about that last night.
A couple years back, but he's still involved with the team. Like he helps out with player personnel. 2025. Yeah, May 2nd, 2025 is when he officially stepped down as the head coach after 29 seasons.
He stepped down. They didn't get rid of him.
No, he's in a full-time front office role. I think his health was starting to decline and it wasn't necessarily the role for him anymore, but that dude still shows up at practices, still is heavily involved in the Spurs area. And there are more murals of that man than I've ever seen murals of a single person in a single city in San Antonio.
I was telling Maria last night, I was like, that man shows up in more of my nonfiction books than most other athletes or sports people. Like, Popovich, yeah, so many nonfiction books use him as an example of different like leadership principles or like effective principle stuff. It's legend.
Dude, I watched the highlight reel of people just giving props to Pop the other day. Like the most successful basketball players and coaches of all time, all just like they're like, this is what people think of Greg Popovich. Then it was just clip after clip after clip after clip after clip of showing like the greatest that have ever played or coached. Giving him his hype. Scampers in, you're saying Ducks won. 4-3. Suck it, Golden Knights.
Hockey time. I love hockey. Hockey's a good time.
I like the hockey playoffs, and then every year I try to get into the regular season, and it doesn't work.
I like hockey's kind of like I've made this comparison before, but it's kind of like the antithesis of basketball, and it's like the opposite of the performative mechanics that basketball creates, where you're like you have to perform to get the foul to get the advantage. Hockey, it's like, nope, you can hit whoever you want, whenever, for no reason.
And it's also a little bit opposite in like how the time works. Know what I mean? Like the ball doesn't go out of bounds. The puck doesn't go out of bounds.
Right. Whenever
it goes behind the basket, you just keep like basketball's kind of a game of start and stop. Yes, hockey's kind of a game of go, 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 go.
Yeah. I don't like the start stop. But going back to, go ahead.
No, I was just putting up amateur hour. Sad the Sabres didn't. Wah, wah.
Wah, 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 wah. Bringing it back to NFL, some other NFL news. My guy, Simon, my man, Breece Hall, he finally got his extension after all the trade rumors, after all the injury predictions to Breece Hall, the trade predictions. This man gets a 3-year, $43.5 million contract this past week. The Jets say we're rebuilding around this running back.
A rebuild around a running back always goes really well, I feel like.
Yeah, is this a Jets mistake, Simon? Is this one of Jets many added to the list of Jets mistakes?
Yes.
Yes.
And I honestly feel like you could have just not told me what they did and what player was involved and asked me if they made a mistake.
Did the Jets make a mistake this weekend?
Probably. The Jets probably did make a mistake this weekend. I don't know. There's just so much more for them to worry about. They have so many pieces that they now need to align in this time frame. How many years on the deal?
3.
So that you got 3 years to make this work with your star running back whenever there's holes upon holes upon holes in your roster offensively and defensively. Swiss cheese roster. It is. Brees Hall's a great player, and you hate to say that re-signing a great player is a bad move for a team, but if you are in fact rebuilding, like the Jets are, and you have so many pieces that need to be added, yeah, it's a bad move.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel for the organizations that have to make this move. The Saquon Barkleys, like the Giants, the Saquon Barkleys, the Brees Hall, the Jets. It's all New York based. Where you have this like NFL, it's a game for these teams. At least the game is somewhat dependent on like what's available to you at the time, right? Like if you don't have a high pick in a draft with a high quarterback, you need to adjust, right? Sometimes there's like timing to it all. And Brees Hall, who's an amazing player, like you don't ever really want to get rid of him, but man, it's hard to feel really good about this for the Jets, right? Because that just like adds more time, like more urgency to their rebuild right now.
Yeah, that being said, we saw the Giants move on from Saquon Barkley.
And that went well for them.
Not
you
yet.
think that's why they're not doing this with Brees? Yeah, they're like, not happening to us.
That's part of what I'm thinking is like it could be a lose-lose situation for them. Like either they suck without Brees Hall or they suck with Brees Hall. Like we might as well suck a different team with Brees Hall. We might as well sell some tickets this year.
God, I wish we were the Chargers.
Not that our quarterback competition between Geno Smith, Bailey Zappi, and Cade Klubnik isn't intriguing to fans. Like, God, man.
Oh, I got a little article from him too. Cade Klubnik, he's been talking. But before we go into him, the one thing that Brees Hall said is he cried for the first time since he tore his ACL.
Do you think there were tears of joy, or the way that sentence is phrased? Like,
no,
exactly. Like the way that sentence is phrased is like as if it's related to or of similar emotion to tearing his ACL. like the way that quote is phrased is not like, man, I was so happy I burst into tears. It's like, I haven't felt like that since I tore my ACL. I haven't felt really like my career was ruined since I tore my ACL.
Damn it, Simon. I didn't even think about it that way. I didn't even read it that way until you said that. Now I'm like, you're right. He brought up a negative example.
His agent called him and told him, and he just burst into tears.
No, he screamed like he just lost his mom or something. No.
Brutal.
Damn. I'm
for
sorry,
fantasy, man. What kind of running back is Brees Hall for fantasy?
I think this is good for fantasy. I don't think this is that bad. I mean, I don't think it's that bad. I think if Brees got traded at the deadline, it's more of a dice roll, right? People were hoping for that. And yeah, it would have been great for him to go to a Chiefs type of team or like some team that has a great offensive line. I don't remember if the Chiefs do, but I think this is fine. A team where he is the primary guy, where they have now fully invested in him for fantasy perspective. It gives me confidence that they're going to use him, which is the big main risk for a lot of running backs, right? It's like something going to happen, or are they going to be able to adjust? We know he knows the system. We know that he can do well in any environment. If he can do all right on the Jets, then he'll do fine, probably.
On the Jets again.
Yeah, on the Jets one more time.
To your point, Jay, he was the RB19 last year. That was with some disappointing games in there.
Yeah, for sure.
But he's an RB2 with RB1 upside. You know what I mean? This is a guy where if the Jets are slightly better than we think they are, there's a little bit more touchdown upside in that offense than we are predicting. Suddenly you've got a guy who can jump up into that RB 10, 11, 12 kind of range. Not what I'm predicting. I'd expect a similar season to last year, but that's probably where you're going to draft him is as an RB2. And there's not many guys in that range that have the skill level to be an RB1 if the situation is different than we're predicting it.
Yeah, the point you just made is the key point here, which is the environment's been limiting him. It's not his talent. It's what we saw in the field when he was able to get stuff going. It was that he couldn't overcome the deficits of the offense. He couldn't get stuff going when the defense was already behind the line of scrimmage by the time he gets the ball. It was a lot of that. I'm not saying Brees Hall couldn't have played better. He certainly could have, but it didn't feel like he was the full reason for it not really popping off.
Excuse me.
Yeah, my goodness, early in the morning for you.
It's all this Jets talk. It
puts me right to sleep.
God, I'm just thinking about the beautiful naps I'm going to take come September, October as these Jets games are on. Give me a Jets Thursday night game. I'm gonna crash early,
I was
baby.
just like, I don't need this. Oh, I like the Savannah Banana shirt.
Thanks.
Yeah,
They're
have
they're
you gone to a
bananas.
game?
No, I have not. This was a gift from my brother-in-law.
Oh, it's like I went to the game. It was pretty fun. Here's a shirt to remember that I went to it.
Hey, I love shirts from events that you went to. I wore a Lady Gaga shirt from a concert that I didn't go to on Saturday. I wear all sorts of things from places I've never been,
That's fair. That's fair.
but it's from people that
That you
have
care about.
been, that I care. I was about to
Yeah.
say that I've been, but
That I've
that's
been
not at
people
all.
you've been. Yeah,
It's
people
with
you've traveled.
people that I've been to that level of relationship with that they get me a t-shirt.
All right, one more Jets combo, Simon.
Jets,
Club.
Jets. Yeah, what
He
about
said
him?
he said he's not upset about falling. He's not upset about landing on the Jets. He said, "I'm a winner. In my mind, I'm a winner." I don't mean that in a boastful way. I think that's the mentality you have to have as a quarterback. I think my resume has kind of showed that as well. That Simon, as someone who's read his resume extremely thoroughly, does it?
Had you come in as the walk-on quarterback who wasn't expected to start at Clemson University, the premier team of the last like 7 years in college football, national championship expectations, then yeah, you would have been a winner. But you came in as a highly touted recruit, expected to be the next guy to bring another national championship to Clemson University. You had all the skills, all the intangibles, and then it just didn't happen. There's a reason it dropped. That's what you got to say. You got to believe in yourself, but it's just objectively not true when you look at his resume. He won more games than he lost. But they also lost like 4 games his senior season.
Yeah.
They lost
to
to
a league where you're not really supposed to lose.
They lost to like a 3-win Syracuse team. Know what I mean? Like it wasn't just losing to like the Alabamas and the teams like that. Like, know what I mean? Like Trevor Lawrence, his losses were like to Bama. So maybe even if he didn't meet the requirements that you thought he, and one random loss
and one weird one with it.
But he won the national championship that year, so it was okay.
Throw it out. Don't even think about it.
No, but this is what a young rookie on a team competing for a spot probably has to say. I'm not holding my breath.
You think he could ever grow into a starting quarterback? Like he sits behind Geno for a year, and maybe a year or two. Maybe he gets he's just Geno Jr.
Yeah, no, I think this guy could. Like I said, he had all of the intangibles coming into college. He had all of the hype. He was a top recruit. He had the mechanics, the height. Like all the pieces are there. So if he ends up in a situation, we see it semi-regularly where a quarterback develops more in the NFL. Not all the time. You know what I mean? Of course, Tom Brady is the quintessential example of this later round quarterback kind of turning into something more in the big leagues, but don't hold your breath. He's a deep stash in Superflex Dynasty Leagues. Deep stash.
Deep stash.
Because he's probably going to end up third on the step chart behind Geno and Bailey Zappi.
Yeah.
Would be my prediction. I'm cheering for him, though. Go Tigers.
Let's go. Go Tigers. A lot of the ones that go to the Jets don't end up doing anything. So
Taj Boyd, Jordan Leggett.
Leggett I had so much hope for.
Yeah, and that's where what's up with the Jets and drafting mid-Clemson quarterbacks in the later rounds? They're like, I know what I'm going to do.
It's the Jets, man. They make mistakes.
Taj Boyd,
yeah.
Dude, I was so convinced Taj Boyd was good, and then I realized he was throwing the ball to DeAndre Hopkins, Sammy Watkins, Adam Humphries, and Martavis Bryant.
Like 4 NFL caliber wide receivers.
Of course he was good. Like, of course he was good at football in college.
You would have been good at football in college.
I would have been good in the ACC with an NFL receiving core. I could have completed a couple passes. We could have won a couple games.
You could have made it.
I could throw the football over that lineman. Not over the mountain, though. All right, guys, I think that's going to be it for us today. We'll be back tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. Eastern time, playing some trivia, talking some ball, and chewing some yogurt. Until then, though, we are out of here. Enjoy your Monday. Enjoy your NBA basketball. Enjoy your NHL playoffs. Adios, everybody.
Let's go. Wemby, don't throw elbow.